PlayAlberta.com. Our tools age better than I do.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. It feels good to know your fund goes further at home. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC.
No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
You've enjoyed a long winter with your Ego snowblower, but now it's the time to get ready for spring. Bring your summer Ego equipment in for service. Or if you're looking to add to your lawn care fleet with new mowers or trimmers, Ego has a wide selection of products to fit every season. Ego also has the powerful wet-dry vacuum and pressure washer to make your cleaning and lawn care a breeze.
We're more than repairs. We're more than mowers. The Lawnmower Hospital.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Welcome to the Lowdown. Today's show, Evan Bouchard, not a finalist for the Norris. What in HE double hockey sticks is going on? Let's talk about bias, shall we? Also, hey, maybe the Ducks are more real than we thought. And what do we really know about these Edmonton Oilers and what they're going to do this summer? Because it's all over the place, man. Rumors are coming out daily, and they're cross purposes. And old people like me are having a hard time keeping track. The Lowdown is brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Family-owned, community-driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. As you know, we are live on Sports 1440 Radio and as well, we're on YouTube, sports1440.ca, iHeartRadio, Radio Player Canada. Our special guest today, looking forward to this, headliner of the day, Bagged Milk, will join us from Oilers Nation, talk about the cross purposes of these rumors that we're hearing about the Edmonton Oilers. Did I mention we're online too? Radio Player Canada, iHeartRadio, sports1440.ca. Afterwards, if you go for a walk with the dog, say after 5-ish, 6-ish, we are on Spotify, Apple, and we tweet it out on X as well. We're on Twitter at Lowetide, Declan Krueger, J Fenwick 04. You can text us anytime, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It's a day talking Bouchard and more in two shakes of a lamb's tail. Right now, though, it's time for the introductions. He is just starting to recover from the Toronto Maple Leafs lottery win. Maybe we shouldn't talk about it for a few days, so don't mention the lottery win. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick, everybody.
Yeah, good morning.
How you feeling
good
about that?
Good afternoon, I guess. How am I feeling about what?
Nothing.
Yeah. Just, water off my back. You know?
Yeah.
Not
and there's
really.
NBA playoffs, which are always fun.
NBA playoffs. I played golf for the first time yesterday.
What'd you
this
shoot?
year? I shot a 90. It was a it was a good 90.
What about on the back nine?
You know what? The kids I golfed with made the same joke because they
Yes.
said, "Oh, like, hey, what do you normally shoot?" I'm like, "Oh, I'll shoot around like a 95 or whatever." Very quick on the draw. Did one of them go? And what about on the back?
It's an old joke, but dad jokes are fun.
It's still good.
We were reminded yesterday just what a blessing it is that this man's moose call noises during hay fever season do not, in fact, coincide with moose mating season for the actual moose, which comes later in the year, like October. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger, everybody.
Well, thank you. And you know what? Extra special day as well for Josh yesterday because the Spurs won by 38. And Wemby didn't even really have to hoop out, even though he did 19-50 and some crazy distractions at the rim.
Mhm.
So good kind of like bounce back for Josh there with Wemby's performance. And me, because I'm a Wemby guy too.
Love it, love it. All right, we're going to talk about Evan Bouchard and bias. He is not one of the finalists, but the Norris, don't go crazy. He's not one of the I told you, if you listen to the show, I told you Evan Bouchard will never win a Norris trophy. And everybody's, oh, come on. I said, he's not going to win this year. He's not going to win that. Evan Bouchard Jr. might win because at that point in time, the analytics and the math may have taken hold a little stronger than they are now. But having said that, let's be real and give credit to the three individuals who are finalists. They're really good hockey players, no doubt about it. And we all have our biases about who's going to win. But I want to take the bias idea away from hockey. Like I could say to you, bias exists in the voting and it always has. There's a bias against European players as opposed to North American players. If that wasn't the case, Yari Curry would have won a major award. If that wasn't the case, Kucherov would have more Hart trophies. These are factual things. I can say them out loud and you can go yes or no based on your bias. But honestly, Yari Curry should have won a major award. Nobody can really reasonably argue against that. And I think eventually Evan Bouchard should win a Norris trophy. And I don't believe it. But let me give you one of my things that's a bias and give you an example of it. Folks, I love music. I love chamber music. I love classical music. I don't understand opera, but I love listening to the soaring voices. I love the rock and roll. I love country. I love soul. I love it all. There's almost nothing I can't listen to. I listened to the first Public Image Limited album, and I like the bass player. I can find something in music that I love. But here's the bias. I can say I love I'll Be Missing You by Puff Daddy with Faith Evans and 112, but I don't own any Puff Daddy 8-tracks, and I don't really know Puff Daddy's music. And that's a bias because I go, well, it's not from my era. I wasn't 15 when it came out. And you know what? I'd really just rather listen to Machine Head by Deep Purple. That's a bias, and it's built in. And it's not fair to the people who love Puff Daddy, of which there are many more than love Deep Purple who are on planet Earth today. But bias is a funny thing. So let me give you an example of why bias works against Evan Bouchard. I can give you chapter and verse about what he is to the Edmonton Oilers. In terms of expected goals this year, if you cut out all the part-timers, everybody's a part-timer in the National Hockey League. In expected goals this year, which is a stat some people don't think is real, but I happen to believe in, he's basically top 10. He's a wonderful player in that category. Now, if you don't like it, you don't like it, but those are facts. So Evan Bouchard has that going for him, and he was the leading scorer among defensemen, and you can say, well, it's more than that, but it really isn't. It's mostly an offensive award. But visually, Evan Bouchard, and the eye test carries tremendous weight. And a lot of the voters are my age or older. Well, not older, but they're my age group or maybe a little younger. And the bias is there. I'm not saying those biased sons of guns. I'm saying it's just a natural thing. Evan Bouchard is a brilliant hockey player. He will earn a Norris trophy, but he will not win a Norris trophy. Evan Bouchard Jr. will win it because how does bias ease? Bias eases with the generations. It does. When I was a kid, all the old people, everybody over 40, hated long hair. I mean, long hair on men in 1975 meant if you went into a grocery store or a restaurant, somebody was going to say, Well, I don't know. There's no way to tell if that's a boy or a girl. They'd say that. I'm telling you they did. Now it doesn't matter. You can do anything you want. But in 1975, it was an issue. How did that change? The generations ease. The idea that something is different doesn't offend or outrage people or make them nervous. So one day, Evan Bouchard Jr. will win the Norris Trophy. But this version of Evan Bouchard, not a chance. All right. Declan, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, there are two directions I want to go with this one. The first one is an apology to you. Because listen, I think Evan didn't finish as a Norris finalist because of bias. I'm going to get to part 2 of my take in a second, but we sat here and we had this argument. We posted like a 5-minute long clip of us going back and forth, and evidently you have been correct. So full marks to you. I have to give.
I'll
you
be
credit
correct
for that.
every year of his career.
Yeah, listen, I didn't have him winning. I had Werenski winning. I had him second, and I thought that there was a clear job from number 2 to number 3. So the fact that he wasn't even nominated, I do think is bias. I absolutely think he should have been there. I think, like, even if you want to go by the bias and the eye test and the gaps he has defensively, first of all, so does everyone. But second, I don't know how you ignore that he was second in 5-on-5 points to Werenski, led everyone in even strength points, and led everyone in points total. Obviously, he's very lethal on the power play, which some people kill him for. I think, listen, if you can go out there and be good on the power play, credit to you, because I want to be able to score when you have a man advantage. Newsflash, duh. So I think the fact he wasn't there was ridiculous. But this is the second part of my take, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Like I said, I would have had Bush there. I would have had him second to Werenski. But the PWHA, they also obviously vote for the Hart finalists. I think we all presume, going away without a shadow of a doubt, Connor McDavid is going to be there. Do you guys think that the PWHA didn't want to have a Norris finalist and a Hart finalist on a 93-point team that was 41-41 in the Pacific and, quite frankly, underachieved this season? Because I wonder if that was something that did creep into the subconscious of the voters' brains, and they were sitting there thinking like, hey, we're going to have McDavid as one of the Hart finalists. We don't know if we want to give Bush a Norris finalist spot because of the team's success this year. Not saying that's right, not saying that's wrong, but I'm just wondering if that's something that creeped into their mind when they were filling out their ballots.
Maybe, but I don't think so. I think the
Really? You don't think so?
No, not at all. Not a chance. The October-November plays by Evan Bouchard, the mistakes that he made, and I can argue they were overcome by the brilliance of Bouchard all year long. But that doesn't matter. The eye test is very powerful among PHWA voters, and that's a bias. But I have biases too. You know, I'm not saying these are evil humans. I'm saying we all have bias. The bias of the PHWA is the way they view hockey, observe hockey, and digest numbers and statistics. In future generations of professional hockey writers, it will change. There will be an ease of this kind of visual bias, and the math bias will become equal. But that's me predicting the future. Right now, Evan Bouchard made so many plays that were, as Rachel Krychak calls them, controller unplugged, that he was never going to be nominated. And that bias will continue for the rest of his career, in my opinion. So I don't think anything. I think your point is well made. I don't think it had anything to do with it, because I don't think he was ever really seriously considered for the award.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, fair enough. It's a great explanation. I think, and obviously, Josh, I want to hear your thoughts on it too. I just think, like, I think you're probably right. I think this was majority of bias, but I just wonder, like, it's tough. Like, let's be real. Edmonton underachieved this year in the regular season, and Connor's obviously going to be a Hart finalist. It's hard to have a Hart and Norris finalist on a team that underachieved that drastically.
People do things all the time that are abnormal, and that may be a reason people give afterwards. But I don't believe in my heart of hearts anybody seriously considered him. I'll ask you this: how many first place votes do you think Evan Bouchard got?
Well, 3. Based on the fact he wasn't a finalist, because there's the voters have gone up. I think it's near 190 now?
It's a lot.
150 to 190?
I don't know what the total is.
So he's going to get at least a couple straggler first place votes. But yeah, Josh, you make, I bet it's not more than 5 or 6.
Never seriously considered for the award.
Especially with Darlene being in there too, who I think was sort of like a late season surge, particularly. But I think another thing to take into consideration is the Oilers were done their Eastern Conference road trip games on December 22nd. That was when, Bouch still wasn't playing like the first month and a half of the year. It was all in the Eastern Conference, and that's when lots of these writers got to watch Evan Bouchard. So what's ingrained in their mind is not a lot of phenomenal play. Obviously, he did turn it around right around the same time McDavid did, and from there on out, he was unbelievable. But I do think there's a thing to be said about just we're in the West, and Eastern Conference writers aren't staying up until midnight to watch the Edmonton Oilers game.
Well, I think all of these are reasons for, but I go back to the fact that I don't think he was seriously considered, and I don't think he'll be seriously considered next year. There is a bias. Jari Kurri didn't win a major award. That was a bias.
Do you think this changes the bias, though? He had 95 points this year. That all demon.
I think Lowetide's right. I think if it's not this year, it'll net. Like, I don't think he's going to get we owed you one. I think it's just going to get worse for him.
Evan Bouchard Jr. will win a Norris Trophy. This version won't.
The thing about Jari Kurri, though, is it was so tough to give him an award with the way Gretz was playing.
Jari Kurri was a brilliant player on the line, and he was the two-way conscience on the line, and he scored a pile of goals, and he was wonderful in the playoffs. Could have won a Conn Smythe.
But you never would have given him Hart over Gretzky.
Well, who won Hart during Gretzky's peak?
So Lemieux.
Gretzky.
Yeah, Gretzky, because he obviously won the 9. I know Lemieux won one in there.
Messier won in...
Was that 90?
Do you want me to pull them up here?
Yeah, okay. Do that. I mean, when Gretzky hit the league, Gretzky was so much better than everybody that the first 9 years that he won the Hart?
He won 9 MVPs, 8 straight.
He won 8 in a row. Then Lemieux won in 87, 88, deserved. Then Gretzky won his 9th. Then after that, Gretzky never won again. But immediately following, it was Messier, Brett Hull, Messier, Lemieux.
Yeah.
And then by then, he was a little more out of the conversation.
Right. I mean, the Oilers got the prime years of Gretzky. There's no doubt about that. But even Gretzky, in the 90s was a terrific hockey player. He just was. But having said all of that, there were other awards that Jari Kurri was a tremendous two-way player. He was a great goal scorer. I mean, the amount of accolades he earned and the points that he put up, it is just a pure shame that he didn't win a major award. And I do think that the Professional Hockey Writers Association take it seriously. I am in no way saying that they are an organization that doesn't take every vote seriously. I remember very well being in the same room with Mark Spector the year that Alexander Ovechkin won first All-Star left wing and second All-Star right wing, or vice versa, and it left Taylor Hall off of the second All-Star team. Speck was, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but he was livid because there had been instructions put out by the PHWA to say, vote for Ovechkin only as a right winger. And then he ended up getting votes for right and left wing.
He made both NHL All-Star teams that year.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that was a mistake. It wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. And that is life. But I'm even though I respect the PHWA and I know they work hard, I'm still going to say it's bias, not just from the PHWA, but from all of us. And I'll go back to Puff Daddy. And that's just a generational thing. But so is this. I remember when analytics people used to argue with media people, and I was in the middle of it. And it was brutal, just brutal, because there was so much Twitter online, and sometimes there'd be a radio show where people were just absolutely just searing the math people. And I'm like, well, get a math person on, and then you can have a conversation. And then after a while, it went to the point where math people were they used that sort of to bludgeon when they finally did get a microphone in front of them. And I can't say that I blame them, but I think it's now gone the other way. And now it's just a mess. And I try to avoid everyone, which I do, on my personal level as well. But I think that the bias is there against Evan Bouchard. Never going to change. Not in my lifetime. And it's too bad, but other things have happened that were, too bad or unfair too. Wayne Gretzky wasn't eligible for the Calder Trophy as a rookie, which was just absolute crap. And the reason the NHL did it was because they had a bias against the WHA, and they decided during the year Gretzky was already going to win enough awards, so he wasn't going to get another one, which is, I mean, it's sort of, unprofessional, but the NHL makes up the rules as they go along on the back of a cigarette package. And that's just the way it is in the NHL. So that's my opinion on that. But I'm not upset because I knew this would happen, and I know it'll happen again next year and the year after that and the year after that. Evan Bouchard, you're a wonderful player. Anybody knows that who can read numbers. And I think if you cut back on the mistakes, you might get into the top 3, but you're never going to win. All right. On the way, we've got Bag Milk coming up at 1 o'clock. We have rumors just around the corner. What is happening from you, sir? I think it's Mama CFL, but I want to make sure. What's happening for Declanations
It
today?
certainly is Declan CFL, our Thursday staple, rookie camp getting going here. I want to there's an article I want to write where basically CFL.ca, they do a thing where they rank their top 3 of positions in the CFL.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to write an article where I think the highest ranked elk would be on a position, on like a list in the league. And I might tease that today with some of the ones that have already come out from CFL.ca, which is linebacker, quarterback, and running back.
So this would be an elk on the side of the mountain way up, the elevated elks.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, for example, like Cody Fajardo, like 6th best quarterback, right? You know what I mean? Like,
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be really good.
I also have, we can do this next segment, but I have Yari Curry's best award finishes if we want to get into those finishes as well.
All right. Well, we'll do that as a part of rumors. What about that? Does that make sense?
Does to me.
All
and
right.
I'm not even that smart. So that's
well, I mean, really. I mean, if the 3 of us put our number together, I don't think we could make it to a Mensa meeting unless we were serving.
I don't know if we could make it to 100.
Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All Star Construction is all about.
For many families, the stress of divorce can throw your life out of balance. The loss of a relationship, ongoing conflict, mounting legal bills, and uncertainty about the future can feel overwhelming. Hi, I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. At Fairway, our team helps you restore balance through mediation, negotiation, and a unique step-by-step process. With 2 offices in Edmonton dedicated to serving your needs, our goal is simple: to help you navigate a path back to peace and clarity. Visit us today at Fairway Divorce.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5 plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions, take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's gonna love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's like a locker room, minus the smell.
Ew.
Kevin Carius brings the banter, the buzz, and the bold sports talk. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports.
With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say,
Summer is calling. Is your vehicle ready for the road trip? Get ready for the season at Nisku Ford with offers that turn up the heat. Right now, you choose how you save. Finance your new vehicle with rates as low as 0%. Or choose massive cash rebates as high as $12,500. Whether you're hauling the boat or packing up the family, we have the Ford you need for your summer adventures. Start your summer upgrade at niskuford.ca. Nisku Ford, above expectations.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Great choice. We can play that on Train Tuesday. Time for Rumors, brought to you by Harley Davidson of Edmonton. Harley Davidson of Edmonton's open house is this Saturday. Enter to win a new Harley plus door prizes and giveaways. HDEdmonton.com. All right, so a few things. Ike Howard. Remember Ike Howard? Yeah. He's been named to Team USA for the World Hockey Championship. He's the fifth winner heading over. And I don't know. I gotta say, I'm not absolutely certain he'll be here next year. I look at this roster and I go, you know, everybody's like, well, he's small, but he's a different style of player than Matt's boy. I would love to see him catch those saucer passes because I think he can. But I think the Oilers probably have to cash him for a player who's in his mid-20s who can come in and score goals on the line and be bona fide. If the Edmonton Oilers are serious about having Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the same line at 5-on-5, you have to go find a center, and you probably have to go find a scoring winger. Just my opinion, but I think Ike Howard might be in a little bit of that middle ground there, where he may be playing in St. Louis or somewhere come the fall. Rasmus Dahlin, Cale Makar, Zach Werenski have been named Norris Trophy finalists. Three terrific players. We shouldn't lose sight of that. Makar had what I would consider to be a year that if he was ever going to be disqualified or not nominated, it would have been this year. As it turns out, voters still believe that the bulk of his work is worthy of being top three. Werenski had a terrific year. He faded a little bit down the stretch, and I do wonder if that cost him the award. But Rasmus Dahlin, I think, would be right in there. Any of these three could win. I think Makar would be my last choice simply because his year wasn't fabulous. But again, you know, voters have a tendency to look at Cale Makar and take it's impossible not to. Again, that's bias. You have to take the bulk of his work, and he really is a difference maker. So it may be Makar again. What about you guys? Do you have a preference among the three?
Josh, you want to lead?
I still think Werenski. I know he had a bad 15 games down the stretch.
He did finish cold.
But also, like, who's the other difference maker on Columbus? Like, I think at a certain point you just become exhausted and gassed. And he played at the Olympics, which adds into the exhaustion part. I'm not even trying to consider what it was he did at the Olympics in his case. Just that he also went there. And yeah, but the other difference makers, he finished 14 points behind Bouch, right? Deck?
Yep.
with
One
no
more-
other difference makers on his team.
Yeah, one more 5-on-5 point, one less even strength point total. I had Werenski. Out of these three, my order would be Werenski, Makar, Dahlin. I obviously had Bouch jumping Makar and Dahlin.
I'd probably have Dahlin ahead of Makar, but that's neither here nor there, I guess.
Now we'll find out the winner, and I think I think all three. It's really picking a nit to say season. The other years he's had is just a complete difference maker. And Colorado is the favorite to win the Stanley, and he's a big part of that. Which one should he have won? This is from Crow's Nest Weather. He won a Lady Bing. Which one should he have won? Players didn't vote Gretzky League MVP in 86 when he had 215 points. They gave it. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. So anyway, he did win a Lady Bing, but that's what you give to Rick Middleton, you know? And I love Rick Middleton. He was a Boston Bruin. They stole him from the New York Rangers, so that was even better. But Rick Middleton isn't like an inner circle Hall of Famer, and Yari Curry is. And he got a Lady Bing, but I think he would have won a Rocket Richard if they'd given it out there during that era. I think he led the league in goals. Maybe I'm wrong. He was a terrific two-way guy. You know, he could have won several Selkies, I think, and certainly he could have won a Conn Smythe. And I just, and you can say to me, Lowetide, you don't know what you're talking about. But European players, less now than then, but European players did not necessarily, in my opinion, and I think I'm right, get the full consideration during those years. That's just my opinion.
I can give you some of his Selke finishes here if you would like.
Sure.
So he finished top 5 for the Selke 4 times. His highest finish was 1983. He finished second. He lost it to, I believe it was Bobby Clark. And then he obviously finished 3rd, 4th, and 5th after that. He won 1 Lady Bing, and the highest he ever finished in Hart voting was 14th. That was his Lady Bing winning year in 84-85.
Now, would he have won, because I don't remember, would he have won a Rocket Richard?
He, I believe, would have won 1 Rocket Richard in 86.
Okay. And just so you know, Bob Gainey was winning the award right up until he was a rookie, and then in his rookie year. And then it went Casper, Clark, Doug Jarvis, Craig Ramsey again, Troy Murray, Dave Poulin, Guy Carbonneau won it twice, Dirk Graham, Rick Mahar, and then Carbonneau, then Gilmore. In those years, I think Yari Curry easily could have reasonably, and Esa Tikkanen for that matter, won. The Oilers were winning a pile of awards, and your comment about, giving them out every award is true. I still think that the National Hockey League, I believe people try to get things fair. But when it's not fair, I will call it out. In the case of Yari Curry, I will call it out until I'm dead. And in the case of Evan Bouchard this year, I just think that if you're looking at the numbers, 25 years from now, when people are looking at the numbers, they're going to say that Evan Bouchard should have been in the top 3, certainly, and would have been a reasonable winner. Darren Radish is a big story for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They've developed themselves over a long period of time. A brilliant defenseman, right-handed, can do everything. Can they afford him? There are some players. Alex Tuck's another in Buffalo. You can target them all you want if you're another NHL team, but ideally, the teams that have them on the roster now will sign them. My question is, we went 10 rounds on Evan Bouchard being worth $10 million or more. What's Radish worth, and what's Tuck worth? I think Tuck's going to get $10 million. What's Radish going to get?
I think Tuck will get his money. Radish is a great question because plays with Cooch.
Well, I was just going to say, the funny thing, sorry for interrupting. That was so rude.
No.
But the funny thing with money is, with the cap going up, and it's kind of jumping quick and drastically, the way we view money is going to change. So,
yeah.
Darren Radish might get, he might get 11 or 10-5 or something. And we're sitting there
it's possible.
Right? And we're sitting there
Tuck
thinking,
too. Yeah.
Tuck might get 13.
It really is a new era. And I mean, if I do not have Daryl Cates' phone number. If I did, I would call him and he'd say, "Why are you calling me?" And I'd say, "Don't let them buy anybody on July 1. Don't let them sign anybody on the first day of free agency." And then I would list off the players that they have signed, Giappani and
great signing,
Arvidsson and Jeff Skinner. And I'm even going to say to him, I like those signings on the day it happened. But here's the thing you've got to remember. I'm writing this for an Athletic article tomorrow. The two things you have to ask yourself if you're the Edmonton Oilers: why is this player being allowed to leave by the team that had him? That's why I think Radish and Tuck both signed, because even though they're 30, whatever, they're still quality players and the team will see them as having value. Because in today's NHL with the salary cap, it's very rare, unless you have the Calgary Flames and you can't keep anybody, it's very rare to be watching players of high value leave the city without a contract. They usually sign a contract, sign another contract, and then when they're really at a tipping point, if they're not considered core, then maybe they move on. And I think that's what we saw with Mangiapane, with Arvidsson, and with Skinner. They were not the team that employed them knew they didn't have the value attached to their play that they were asking. And so they moved on. And that should be a warning to the Edmonton Oilers and to Daryl Cates to not sign anybody on July 1. If you do, chances are it's going to be something you regret by February or earlier, depending upon how it goes. And we'll see. Because I remember when people are talking about Connor McDavid being a free agent, they want to sign him up. Guys don't get to free agency, folks, if their team really, really believes they know him better than anybody. They know the medical history. They know how hard they're playing. They know, how much weight they had when they were in their peak, and they know how much they weigh now.
I mean, it was only the 11th hour last year. We all knew Marner was going to free agency and then sign and trade to Vegas. But he obviously had a say in where it was he was going.
Yeah, he did. Now, I don't think these cats do. I don't think Tuck will get traded by Buffalo, do you?
If he was to say to them, you guys should have extended me, I don't want to come back to an organization that doesn't trust or believe in me, I would not be coming back. I could see sign and trade.
He'd be a great get for the Oilers. They can't afford him.
No. Well, they can't afford anything right now currently.
He's also things are finally going well there. I don't think you're walking away.
I don't think he's going to walk away either, but
they got to pay him.
Yeah, you got to pony up.
Here's what I was thinking. Buffalo in the Stanley Cup final, not that inconceivable.
No.
Carolina will be a very tall task, but it's not inconceivable for Buffalo to be there.
And when did I say that? 2 months ago. Whenever we did that declinations of top 5 teams to go on a run.
Holy ball knowledge.
I had Carolina and Colorado. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Jason Dominguez is in concussion protocol and undergoing an MRI on his left shoulder. He made a great catch for the Yankees today, and he dropped like a stone, and he was down for an extended period of time. And so he's up due to injury. Giancarlo Stanton is hurt. So the Yankees in the outfield, if you can play in the outfield for the Yankees, you should call them because they probably are looking for someone right about now. Okay, it's 12:35. Ordinarily, I would take a break here. Do we want to talk about the NBA playoffs as its own segment on the way next?
Yes.
All right.
That was emphatic.
Hey, man, I saw the craziest shot in NBA history last night. I'm dying to talk about it. I'm itching to talk about it.
Did you see Dr. J with his finger roll?
I've seen the clip before, yeah.
It better
Obviously,
be good.
I wasn't alive to talk about it live.
But is it better than that?
It was pretty cool.
All right, we'll find out. My own guess is that even though it's pretty cool, it's not that cool. Lowdown with Lowetide, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text VALUE to 780-777-7777 to start. That's VALUE to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Krueger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Whether you're refinancing or buying your first home, mortgages are easier with help from a neighbor. At Vision Credit Union, you get face-to-face guidance from local lenders who know the market because, well, they live here too. They'll look at your whole financial picture with practical advice for payments, renewals, refinancing, and what makes sense long-term. Get a more neighborly mortgage. Contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Spring is here, and your lawn knows it. Get the professional grade cut your home deserves with Toro. The Lawnmower Hospital has the right Toro for the job, from the residential Toro Super Recycler to the high-performance zero-turn tractor for those larger properties. Shop now for exclusive spring discounts or 0% financing for 36 months on select units. Beat the rush and get your Toro in for service today. Visit lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. Oh my, I love her. So good, so happy, so very, very good. Love that music. By the way, just before we talk about the NBA, congratulations to Alan Simpson. I think from London, Ontario. I might be incorrect about that. 45 years ago today, he founded Baseball America and revolutionized the idea of following prospects in baseball and tracking them and ranking them. And he's being rewarded by baseball, by the Society of Baseball Research, I believe this weekend, for the foundation of the magazine that revolutionized prospect coverage. I bought my first one at Pike's Place in Seattle in maybe 1987. Casey Candell of the Indianapolis Indians, the Montreal Expos minor league team from the American Association, was on the cover. I read all about Casey Candell. And then I spent about 4 million hours reading Baseball America over the next decades. Wonderful publication. Okay. Now, you guys don't have to worry about, cheering for sports where there's not a lot of information, because the internet and your ability to research is at just your fingertips.
All right.
Your research is very valuable.
All you do is punch things up on natural stat trick, and you're like,
4 minutes.
My research has
I
shown me.
never call it research because it isn't. Your research takes about as much time, and in basketball, it's more thorough, so it's easier to access.
So what's wrong with, is there a problem with things being easier to access?
No, but just don't call them research.
But I don't understand why it's a problem. Like, I just don't get it.
Well,
okay,
because you're
research,
not old
the
and
systematic
miserable.
investigation into and study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and create and reach new conclusions. That's what I did. I reached new conclusions.
Listen, that definition kind of makes, like, that feels like you prove Lowetide's point a little bit, but I am on your side.
But that's what I did, is I did the description of the thing, and he's saying what I did was my
just
research.
say one other thing that you did? You looked it up.
Okay, it's not like I Googled, oh, how do I, what? You had to use sources.
Research can be a sliding scale.
Did you cure COVID?
No,
See, like that.
That's a different kind of research, though.
No, that's actual research.
Whatever.
No, that's a fallacy. That's a comparable fallacy. Like, just because one thing is one extreme doesn't mean something that isn't that extreme isn't also research.
I can't tell you how much joy I feel when I
It's just like,
get
it
you
doesn't
outraged.
make any sense. Like, okay, boomer.
Now let's talk about the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, yesterday, Spurs blow out the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards had some good comments after the game where he said, after game one to the Timberwolves, he said, normally when the road team wins game one, they get blown out in game two because they come out too cool. So we have to make sure we don't come out cool. Anthony Edwards is coming off the bench. He's not starting. And what happened? The T-Wolves, they came out cool. And that's what he said. He was like, hey, we didn't do what we were supposed to do. And that's what led to us losing like this. Now, the thing that I do want to touch on big time is that the Spurs were up big and the Wolves had a great defensive possession, and it forces Devin Vassell to shoot a corner three. They had to alley-oop this man the ball.
And he was going up.
He had to catch the ball on his way up, fully set, and he absolutely switched this three-pointer. The hand-eye coordination needed from not just the passer, but Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell to have the awareness of how much time was left on the shot clock and the ability to make his jumper look as clean as it normally does is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. Second most insane thing behind 4 bounces on a rim that gave the Raptors the series win over the Sixers 7 years ago now. Holy hell. 7 years ago. Wow.
Yeah.
I was just a young buck.
You were.
I was
like a teenager.
I wasn't even in high school yet.
Probably arguing with your parents.
That's insane to not even be in high school.
I was in grade 9,
2019.
so in the States I would have been in high school. But
Ontario and Manitoba as well.
I
BC
guess.
maybe even.
Maybe.
Junior high in Saskatchewan.
The best province, if I may.
Not
add.
North Battleford, that's for sure. Would have moved me out of there.
All right.
The degree of difficulty on that shot is so tough. Like, to catch it mid-air, because for anyone who doesn't know, you don't really shoot with your arms.
You shoot with your legs.
You shoot with your legs, yeah. So that's why late in playoffs and late in season, when people's numbers go down a little bit, is because it's a full season. Like, their legs are dead. You shoot from your legs. Your hand. You also when you shoot, like if you're a right-handed shooter, you don't really even need your left hand there. Your left hand is just for balance. The touch is with the right hand, but it all comes from the legs. So to not have his legs as a starting off point, to catch it midair and not be able to get a full motion in the shot and just do it with his arms already extended above his head and swish that, incredible. Incredible. It's like Bobby Orr flying through the air and scoring that goal.
It just unbelievable. I'm in shock of what I saw yesterday, and I thankfully was able to watch it live.
Is there a GIF or a GIF of it?
I can send you the Twitter video.
We could pull up the Twitter video on stream potentially.
Probably. Give me 37 seconds.
It was, you know what, LT?
37 seconds.
It was really cool.
It just was cool as balls.
Okay. While we do that,
also the Knicks absolutely blowing out not blowing out.
No,
that was game one.
25
lead changes in the game last night. Most lead changes in a playoff game since Game 7 in 2015 between the Clippers and Spurs, which had 31 lead changes.
There you go. Now, does anybody did any series balance change from the result last night?
Oh, I would say certainly the Spurs Timberwolves.
Okay.
So I still was picking the Spurs after that game 1 loss. Although to the Timberwolves' credit, they kind of did it without Anthony Edwards really getting into an offensive rhythm until the fourth quarter. But I was still picking San Antonio, and this they won by 38 points, right?
Yeah.
And Wemby didn't even have 20. Everybody was firing on all cylinders. And as good as Wemby is, because I've said this, Josh, and the video's up now on YouTube. As good as Wemby is, the Spurs really do play a team game. They are a very full and complete team, and they got guys who can score, and they got guys who can contribute, and they got guys who can defend. So for Wemby to only have 2 blocks, not even have 20 points, he did have 15 rebounds, and for them to win by 38 feels like it was a complete shift of the series. But, sorry.
Go ahead.
Minnesota has kind of been there before a little bit. Not losing by 38, but they're a team that can bounce back. They have a lot of resolve.
Where did you send that?
It's on our YouTube stream
on Sports 1440.
Correct.
On the YouTube, on Twitch,
Twitter,
on Instagram, on Twitter, on
Okay,
Facebook, wherever you watch us.
Okay.
It's something David Blaine couldn't do.
That is impressive.
Look at that.
Dude, it just and it's so smooth too, coming off his hand.
That was really good. I was prepared to poo-poo it, but I can't.
No,
That's
it's really smooth coming out too.
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
All right, we've got 4 minutes, and I did want to talk about the Anaheim Ducks very briefly. They beat the Edmonton Oilers. People are still recovering from it. And they won 3-1 last night to tie the series against Vegas. Now, we don't have to go into depth there. We know what they are. We saw them, and none of us thought they would beat the Oilers. Now they've tied Vegas. Are they real, or is this just a mirage?
I'd say real.
Well, here's the thing. Real in what sense? Because
that they could win the series.
Win this series?
Yeah.
Yes. Real in the sense that they could win the Stanley Cup? I don't believe so. I don't think they can beat.
But Final Four would be really cool for Anaheim.
That would be huge.
I'd consider that real.
Okay, let me ask you a further question, if I may. Sorry to interrupt you both.
Sorry, no.
Joel Quenneville is the coach of Anaheim, veteran guy, turned a bunch of young players into something that is pretty successful. Does that give you pause about the Edmonton Oilers' current situation with their coach? Perhaps a veteran, somebody who's had success, might be able to take them to the next level.
Not a lot of Hall of Famers on the market right now in the coaching department, unfortunately.
You don't like your man that you liked yesterday?
Bruce Cassidy?
Yeah.
I guess he is a would he be a Hall of Fame coach?
Well, he's on his way.
He's got a Stanley Cup, right? He hasn't missed the playoffs in his career, I don't think, either.
And also, do we think Buffalo is now moving on from Montreal? They've been clearly outclassed, or do you suspect that maybe Montreal has a jab in there or two?
They have so much fight in that team. I can't say it's over.
The top line needs to step up for them, though. Suzuki has the only 2 top line points at 5-on-5 for them right now.
Yeah.
And the entirety of the playoffs.
And we can all agree that Carolina is going to just flatten Philadelphia, right? That's over.
Yeah, but Philly played tough, though. They played tough.
Taking Carolina to OT is something.
Now, I do believe, will lose that series, but they had some fight to them.
Yeah. So I see this series probably in 4, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ended in 5. If the Flyers came out tonight and won, I would not be surprised.
This is the spot they win.
Yeah. This is the game they win.
Yeah. Jay says, you're just going to take the Flames fan calling you a boomer? Tide? Go get him. From Jay. Well, I am a boomer. So it's some people will say, you're such a social justice warrior. Is that the phrase? And I'm like, well, if that involves defending people who are being ripped apart and taken advantage of, and people are mocking, then thank you. Sometimes the phraseology that's used, I don't push back on. I was born in that generation, and we did kind of ruin the world for the next generation. So, guilty as charged. I'm okay with that.
Nothing wrong with it.
No.
Amen.
Well, what generation are you?
I believe I'm a Gen Z.
Yeah, I'm Gen Z as well.
You guys are the ones who ruined hotel basically the way hotels are set up because you don't have anything you take nothing in. You don't have any clothing. You have a toothbrush. You ruined it.
Well, that's nice if we only ruined hotels.
There's no
I can think of a
storage space.
laundry list of things that
I don't
not
like
you specifically.
I don't like guacamole, so you go give her
baby boomers in their hole ruined.
Yeah, listen, they didn't exactly leave the world a better place than they found it. I do think there is something to be said. Like, I don't think our generation particularly works that hard.
But you don't have anything to work for. Look, I had
because of baby boomers.
I had a house I could buy. I had a family I could raise. All those things were available, and I had health care for everything. Oh, tooth hurt? I'll go somewhere and pay nothing. Well, you pay something, but you don't have to pay cash out of pocket. You don't have that. Your world is different than mine, and it's because of me.
That's good that you can admit it.
I think it's wrong. It's wrong. So you don't work hard until a company gives you a reason to. And that's healthcare, and that's a future, and that's a possibility of buying a home and marrying somebody and having a family.
You know what everyone should go watch?
I'm licking boots for Sports 1440.
Yeah.
I will lick boots for this company.
So
no, but that's different. You have a passion and this is your career and you've chosen it. I'm just saying as a group, I got a lot more just for showing up than you do.
It's fair. What everyone should go watch. I'm a big proponent of this. Go find Simon Sinek, Why Leaders Eat Last. And don't watch the TED Talk. You got to watch like the 45-minute one. It is incredible what he's able to break down. He also talks about how he's embarrassed that he has a job because he shouldn't have a job.
What's the name of this thing again?
Simon Sinek, Why Leaders Eat Last. Sinek is spelled S-I-N-E-K.
And I can guarantee you Brad Pitt is the guy who eats last if he likes the movie.
No, it's not a movie.
I'm teasing you.
It's a keynote speech, essentially.
Right. Yeah. I haven't done any research, so I don't really know the movie.
Oh, well, maybe you should do some research.
Okay, on the way, it's Bagged Milk from Oilers Nation. We have Declanation's Mama CFL at 1:40 and more of your comments coming up, too. This is the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 Radio, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Elks Nation. For the best Elks coverage year-round with podcasts and articles, go to elksnation.ca. Player interviews, game analysis, and more. The best green and gold coverage online, elksnation.ca. Norris finalists have been announced by the NHL. Cale Makar, Zach Werenski, and Rasmus Dahlin. The finalists, Evan Bouchard. The notable snub, despite leading the league for defenseman points with 95 and even strength points. In the NHL tonight, we will see the Carolina Hurricanes and the Philadelphia Flyers at 6. Carolina leading that series 2-0 with a chance to take a 3-0 lead on the road. And in the NBA, Cleveland and Detroit in Game 2 of their series. LA, Oklahoma City, Game 2 of their series as well at 7:30. Scores in the MLB right now. Rangers trail the Yankees 7-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Nats up 5-4 on the Twins in the bottom of the 6th. And the Guardians lead the Royals 3-0. Reds also trailing the Cubs 1-0. A little bit later on, in about 10-15 minutes time, we will see the Mets and the Rockies. And the late game, we'll see the Cardinals and the Padres. I'm Declan Krueger, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440 Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located.
Pass up the middle, Kreider. Again, it's Hannafin back. Boy, carry over to play the puck. In front, score! 2-0 Ducks. Leo Carlson. He makes a beautiful backhand pass. And Carlson's able to elevate this puck. He's for Team France. Wembanyama spinning. Oh, what a pass underneath the Champagne. Now Vassell has to put it up. And it's the three as the shot clock buzzer sounds.
Behind the Spurs bench. The quick reaction of Vassell to get that off. Just great awareness.
And now Miss Johnson going to challenge the foul called against Cubs win. They walk it off for the third straight night. in a row, 14 in a row at home. And this place has turned into an absolute madhouse.
Drink, all for just $5 plus taxes. A Canadian restaurant. For product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well. Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
I'll get out. It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Family owned, community driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. Beautiful song. I think it was in a movie, but I don't remember if it was a big hit movie or not, but really nice. All right. So lots to talk about. It is time for our headliner of the day, brought to you by Faber. And of course, we have our friend, Bag Milk from Oilers Nation, joining us. Debt holding you back? Let Faber's licensed insolvency trustees help you tackle your debt. Book your free consultation at faber.ca or call 1-877-944-1177. We're joined now by Bag Milk. How are you, sir?
Now listening to Celine Dion, a beautiful song from 1997's Titanic. I can even see the water rushing through the boat as we speak.
Yeah, that was where they were hanging off the boat like that. That was really cool.
It was a romantic movie of our generation,
really,
of our lifetime, I should say.
Never did. I fell asleep. I don't know how it ended, but I'm sure it was. Sure it was good. So look, let me ask you. Anaheim ties up the series last night. I'm watching and I'm going, maybe they're better than I thought, or maybe Joel Quenneville is a genius. Do you think they have a chance in that series?
I absolutely do. I actually thought that, watching game one, even though it went Vegas's way, I thought that there was some mistakes that the Ducks made that eventually led to them losing the game that they just weren't doing. They weren't making against the Oilers. They missed some clear chances to score. They missed some clear shooting lanes. And those were some details that we did not see in round one against Edmonton. So, yeah, I actually believe this group of scrappy kids coached by Joel Quenneville, they can make some noise here. They're a very good team. They're fast. They're quick. Their puck pressure is excellent. And I thought last night that they gave Vegas everything they could handle and eventually closed out a 3-1 win.
So you and I write a lot and talk about the Edmonton Oilers. So it's our job to keep up to date on what's happening and what's resonating and what fans are concerned about. But it feels like they're either trial balloons are being floated or people are just making stuff up, because we've heard that McDavid and Draisaitl are going to play together at 5-on-5. Chris Knobloch is going to stay with a few coaching changes, and that Cassidy won't be hired. And then we're hearing that, maybe they're going to go and keep Jari, but not Ingram, and go get another goaltender out east. And some of the messages jive and some do not. So how do you, in this times of difficult times of trying to parse what information is out there and make it real, how do you take all of this in and digest it?
It's almost impossible to answer the question. Like you said earlier, you and I have been doing this for a very long time now, and this isn't our first rodeo with an Oilers extended offseason, let's say. Now, it's been a minute. The Oilers haven't been out of the first round since the All-Canadian division, but we've done this before, and we've seen a lot of this before, but it's all noise. And the thing that's confusing me about the Oilers right now is there's talk about everything, when I also don't think that there's going to be that much real change. Like, at the end of the day, the core players are still going to be back outside of, we're hearing the Darnell Nurse rumors, but at the end of the day, he still has a full no move. And if he says no, then he'll be right back on the Oilers blue line next year. I think that a lot of this is noise right now, and I'm kind of ignoring a lot of it. Yeah. Because talking about McDavid and Draisaitl playing together at 5-on-5 on May 7th or 6th or 5th or whenever it started, just seems incredibly premature, and we don't know what the team is going to look like next year. So I think that a lot of this stuff is very premature, but I get it. We're having this conversation right now, and we're going to have the conversation about the Oilers all summer long, and I'll be back here every Thursday to talk about whatever's going on. But I think at this point, there's still a lot of the fallout from going out in round one, and the noise about what went wrong leads people to just go down paths of imagination that probably aren't going to mean a whole lot when next season rolls around. Now, to some of the points specifically, are Connor and Leon going to play together at 5-on-5? Probably. I don't think that that's much of a reach. Are they going to do it all season? Probably not. But at points, sure, of course. Are they going to keep Tristan Jarry next season and get rid of Connor Ingram? I don't personally agree with that decision, but I also look at the numbers of the contract on Tristan Jarry and wonder, well, who wants that? And when you think about it kind of that way, you go, yep, it makes sense that he'll be back here. So I think that a lot of this stuff can just be answered logically if you really think about it. But on the other hand, I think a lot of it is noise that is just noise. There's not really much substance to it outside of a lot of words.
Yeah, and I also think that, the no matter what anybody says, probably some pretty basic decisions have not been finalized yet. Like, is the coach coming back? If he does, how many assistants are going to be, here and not here? And then once all of those things are figured out, then you can start signing people. And I imagine that Connor Murphy would be one of the earlier ones. I'll be interested in finding out if they sign Connor Ingram. I thought he played well, but they may have other ideas in mind. How much of this do you think that Stan Bowman, this little crest of success or ebb of success, do you think Stan Bowman will use to put his stamp on this team, either through the coaching staff or maybe moving, if not Darnell Nurse, then some other parts that have been here for some time?
Well, I guess my counter to that would say his stamp is already on the team. And a lot of the things that either went well or did not go well this past season, that lies squarely at his feet. I mean, the Tristan Jarry trade was on him. That's not Ken Holland. The inability to fix that goaltending problem. Like, you could point to Ken Holland, but it's still Stan Bowman's team. So I think that his stamp is already on it. My greater concern, and just to say it out loud, and I think a lot of people listening might be thinking the same thing, is how much can we trust that the Oilers management group that put them in this spot is the right one to lead them out of it? And the nice part about it is you don't really have to make sweeping changes to a team this good. You still got a bunch of the core pieces. You still got the two best players on earth, and that's a healthy head start for any organization. But there are also some holes that need to be filled on the roster that haven't been addressed for some time now. And there were some decisions that were made, like a guy like Andrew Mangiapane, that was clearly not a fit. So I think that Stan Bowman's stamp is on the team already. But my greater concern is whether or not he can take the actions necessary turn the Oilers back into a contender next season. He's only got 5 months to get a lot of work done. And he's also got a countdown clock on the best player on earth counting down against him. That's a lot of pressure. I don't really remember an offseason with this much pressure for the Oilers. And my biggest concern is that they're going to start making moves out of panic under that pressure, and that they're going to take some swings that maybe are too aggressive at a point when maybe they didn't need to. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a very interesting summer. That's what I'm thinking. I'm just fascinated that you and I get to sit here and chat about it, and we're not the ones that actually have to make these decisions.
Well, your comments match mine. I can express it in just saying I'm always afraid. Have been since I endorsed Chiarelli and it didn't go well. So I guess it's been a decade for me of worrying that a big mistake will be made. You know, I think Stan Bowman's done pretty well with the smaller moves. Certainly Roslovic, but the Europeans that he signed, there's some good players there. But when he gets into the big part of a trade like the Jari trade or even the Frederick move or in free agency, the Mangiapane signing looked good, but as it turned out, it was not exactly what you want to see. And there are reasons why teams let veterans go to free agency. They know the player better than anybody. So how much of what Oilers fans are feeling now is anticipation and how much is trepidation?
I think it's probably both. I think I'll use my own experience here as I'm an Oilers fan. I'm incredibly biased. I love this team. I love to watch them, and I have my whole life. So I'm both nervous and excited. I'm excited about change because, watching the playoffs that we just did and watching the season that we just did, it became pretty evident that there's some change that's necessary, whether that's better people in better fits for roles that they require. As an example, like going out and getting Jason Dickinson for that 3C spot. That's what I'm talking about. That guy's a 3C. He was a great fit for what he is. I hope he comes back. But I'm excited about who they're going to go chase. I'm excited about the idea of going to get another goaltender. I'm excited about the idea of potentially looking at the coaching staff, whether that's Knobloch or the group as a whole. I'm excited about all that. On the flip side, though, I'm also incredibly nervous because over the last 2 off seasons, my excitement has been misplaced. I've been very excited about some of the moves that the Oilers made, and starting with Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson. They've kind of gone sideways. So I don't know that I necessarily trust my own judgment all that much. So I'm nervous about what actually happens. I'm excited to watch it happen. I'm just nervous about what those changes actually mean.
What are your thoughts on Evan Bouchard not being one of the finalists for the Norris Trophy?
I'm stunned. I understand I'm an Oilers fan and I get the privilege of watching Evan Bouchard every night. But I'm completely stunned he did not even get a finalist, one of the top 3 finalists for the Norris. Not to take away from Zach Werenski or Cale Makar or even Rasmus Dahlin, but you look at the season that Evan Bouchard had. He was 95 points. He played all 82 games. That was 14 points more than Zach Werenski in second, 16 points more than Cale Makar, if my math is correct. He was also a plus 25. On a team that, their goal differential, the Oilers, was not plus 25. So he was, to quote from you, he was pushing the river. And while I didn't necessarily think he would win because there are the warts in his game that everyone talks about, I thought his season was more than good enough to be one of the top 3 finalists for that award. I even looked at when Erik Karlsson won the award a handful of years ago for going over 100 points. Well, he was minus 25 or 26 or something that season. He still ended up winning. So I don't understand why the standard or the goalpost shifts that much when it comes to Evan Bouchard when, sure, he makes mistakes, but, I'm watching the playoffs too. Number one, Werenski didn't even get there. And 2, I saw Cale Makar making some mistakes. It wasn't like he's having a picture-perfect season either. So I guess I don't want to take away from the 3 finalists because all 3 of them are fantastic defensemen. But I'm stunned that Evan Bouchard didn't do enough to at least get his name thrown in the ring. I think it was a huge mistake. I think it was a huge snub. And I'm hopeful that Evan Bouchard sees this and comes into next season with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, be like, hey, wait a minute. He just had 95 points as a defenseman and he didn't get a sniff at the award? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Meg Milk, our guest from Oilers Nation on Sports 1440 and Lowdown with Lowetide on YouTube. We talked about the coach, but I wanted to be specific here. I've mentioned Bruce Cassidy as an option several times to people, written about it. I've asked about it with various folks who've come on the air. And pretty much everybody has said some version of, yes, Cassidy has a system. It works. It suppresses the opposition offense, but he would need to tweak quite a bit of the roster, and the offense would be less than it is now. And there was a feeling that he wasn't a good fit. And my question to you is this: if the Edmonton Oilers haven't won a Stanley Cup partly because they allow too many goals, perhaps a change in style would be at least reasonable to consider. Is that fair?
I agree with you so much that I feel like the counter argument you just described doesn't make any sense. It's why would we keep doing the same thing if it doesn't work over and over and over again without any adjustments? And then you look at Bruce Cassidy's resume. Number one, this guy is a Cup champion. He won with the Golden Knights. He also had 3 seasons in a run of 4 with 50-plus wins, and teams that were very stingy defensively. He was the coach of the Boston Bruins when they went on that meteoric run. Ultimately, they lost in round 1 of the playoffs that year. But this is also a team that needs to take the regular season more seriously. We heard a lot of times this year, the Oilers will turn it on when the games start to matter. The Oilers will turn it on when the games start to matter. Well, you play how you practice, don't you? Mm-hmm. And I think that an 82-game schedule is a lot of practice for the big dance that happens in the spring, and I don't think the Oilers did a very good job at it. So to me, I think it's almost crucial that they change their system and their approach a little bit, because we've gotten to the doorstep. We've gotten within a goal in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, but ultimately they didn't win. And I don't know that going back to the well and doing the same thing and maybe moving a few deck chairs around in terms of the bottom 6 or the defensive group is really going to make all that much of a difference. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to that old Steve Yzerman story, doesn't it, Al, where, Yzerman was asked to sacrifice some offense for the greater good of the team. And then, the Red Wings went on to be the Red Wings that they were. So to me, is that not the same thing here a little bit? Because I kind of think it is. I mean, even if you probably ask Connor and Leon themselves, they've got their awards. They've got their Art Ross trophies. They've got MVPs. But what they don't have is a nice big ring on their finger. And I'm sure if changing the style a little bit would push them closer to that goal, I bet they would also buy into the idea.
Yeah, it's all fair. I think that this is a tremendously important summer for the Edmonton Oilers. And there happens to be a coach who might be a fit out there. That doesn't happen every summer. So this is going to be worth tracking as we move along. How's Frank?
Well, Frank is now, he's back into leisure mode, Al. He finished off the season with a loss. Unfortunately, he did predict that the Oilers were going to win Game 6. They did not do that. He took it very hard. As you can imagine, he takes his work seriously. So now he is back to a point of rest and, relaxation. The sun is out. We finally got spring in Edmonton after, multiple fake winters coming in. So he's enjoying the season. He's enjoying the runs. He's enjoying the grass. And, he's enjoying eating the bugs that are starting to come back out. That's his thing. He likes to chase the flies and eat them down. So he's having a great time, but I'd be lying if I said he wasn't a little down after the Oilers got bumped out in round 1.
All right. Thanks for this. Appreciate it. Have a great week. We'll talk to you Thursday.
Thanks, Al.
There you go. Bag milk. Chad Beagle says Bouchard will never get a sniff as a Norris candidate, ever. Yes, others make mistakes, but not very often as glaring as Bouchard's. And I can't read that. What makes people mad more than anything is the response and effort after a mistake. People outside the Oiler world laugh at us because of the way we talk about Bouchard being snubbed. They don't even consider this. Well, you can't help how you look. He does look like he's calm all the time. And I know that people can get, can react in certain ways because of the way people look. Glenn Sather had a natural sneer on his face, and it drove people nuts. I'm telling you, it did. You look at an old photograph of Glenn Sather behind the bench, and he looks like he's mocking you. And all he's doing is smiling. But that's the way people are. People look the way they look. And we who are looking at them are the ones that write the story of how we feel they're feeling. That happens, you know. Bouchard really does look like he's a little bit disinterested. You know, he's indifferent to every play, but that's just not the case. He obviously cares. And he obviously tries hard. You know, he has the puck a ton. So chances are he's going to make some mistakes. And I agree with you. I don't think he'll ever win Norris Trophy. I've said that before. The difference between you and I is I think he really deserves one, and he won't win it. So that is something that I will, like Yari Curry, I will mention. And as time goes on, and Dr. Dick Richard is so pleased with my show today that I'm pleased myself. Okay, so coming up, we've got CFL talk. Is it CFL or are you going to do a little NFL too?
No, just CFL.
And it's going to be the top players at each position across the league.
Yeah, like I want to talk rookie camp as well, of course. And so, no, not across the league. Just like where the Elks would rank.
Yes, I'm teasing you. I'm looking forward to this list, by the way. I can't wait to see where Jim Germany ranks among the running backs.
He'll be high. Yeah, it's nothing. It's not going to be too intricate. It's not going to be too deep. It's kind of something that's like a teaser for an article I really want to write.
All right. Okay, this is the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440, and we are delighted to have fantastic sponsors throughout the show, and Wolf GMC Buick is our title sponsor. We want you to check them out when you get an opportunity at wolfgmcbuick.com.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business, and for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Your protein drink should work as hard as you do. That's why Booster Juice is hitting the gym harder than ever, brother. Meet your new gym buddies, the Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers. 2 new ripped and refreshing menu options that bench some serious protein. Perfect for pre or post workout. Way Too Good and Green Gains Booster Mixers taste like motivation. So what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Cheers. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit JapaEquipment.com or stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
O'Hanlon Paving is looking for finished skid steer operators, finished grader operators, Class 1 drivers, and more to join their Edmonton Road Crew team. Bring your positive attitude and great work ethic to their job fair, Friday, May 8th from 10 till 3. Visit o'hanlonpaving.com/careers.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting non-stop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Author, musical connoisseur, sports know-it-all. Yes, a man for all seasons.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 with one of the really underrated bands in Canadian music history. Wow, they're so good. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. We're about 15 minutes away from declinations, talking about the CFL and ranking Elks where they would be across the country. You know, quarterback Cody Fajardo, 6, say, something like that. You know, I don't know where he's ranked, but Declan will tell us. Evan Bouchard is an IQ test. People who don't like him don't understand that winning a game 4-3 is the same as winning 1-0. Well, I get that, but I think it's more than that. I think that the visual of Evan Bouchard is. Do I have time to tell a story?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I was a kid, my dad loved the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he loved Dave Keon, and he loved John Bauer, and he loved Tim Horton. He didn't like the younger guys like Jim McKinney. Was not a fan of Jim McKinney, but I was. But he loved Frank Mahovlich. Frank Mahovlich was like 6'2", 210, and during the 60s, that made him a huge player. Mahovlich was an excellent skater, but he didn't look like he was working hard when he skated. Just one of the things that big people, big men, have to deal with. Now, you could watch a shorter player like Ty Domi when he was in the NHL. He looked like he was passing a kidney stone when he was skating. He was making real effort. Mahovlich was faster, but for the time, but he didn't look like he was exerting a lot of effort. And so, you know, people would say, don't wake up Mahovlich, and boy, he just showed up tonight or didn't. And even his coach and general manager, Punch Imlach, was truly brutal to Frank Mahovlich in terms of how he talked about him, in terms of how he handled him. And I mean, it was bad. You can go back and read it. Imlach had 2-a-day practices so that Mahovlich couldn't get home for lunch or to spend time with his family because it was too far to go. Stuff like that. The world was a different place in the 60s. It really was. You don't want to go back there. You think you do, but you don't. So anyway, there is a bias that exists in all of us. Well, a lazy lout, you know, or why is he bothering to go on a breakaway because he's not going to score? That's a Todd Marchand shot. It's all bias, and it's sometimes built on fact, but sometimes built on a little bit of fact, and then what our mind's eye is telling us and reminding us of. And in the case of Evan Bouchard, he does look slightly disinterested, and he does make mistakes. Rachel Krychak's controller unplugged, and they do sometimes end up in the back of the net. All of those things are true. But what's also true is the numbers show that relative to other NHL defensemen and players, even with all of those mistakes, Evan Bouchard is a top drawer scorer and outscorer. And that's the power play. That's even strength. He even spends time on the penalty kill successfully. He's a complete defenseman, but people won't buy that because their eyes won't let them. They didn't see him good. And so because of those things that linger in the brain part, Evan Bouchard is viewed as being less than what he actually is. And that's a human condition. We are all susceptible to that. And bias can take on many forms. But one of them is we say, well, I can't give that guy a Norris Trophy because look at the mistake he made. Meanwhile, if you made maybe that's what the audit should do. That'd go over well. Make a video of all Cale Makar's mistakes and put them on, the Olympic one and the other ones. And then you'd have a resume of Makar mistakes that you could, slide against Bouchard mistakes. The difference is that Evan Bouchard hasn't won a Stanley Cup. Cale Makar has. Cale Makar is out of the box. He was seen as a brilliant player and he made brilliant plays. But he's also the way he looks on the ice, the way he plays, the way he conducts himself, the way people perceive him is different. There are things that make us think certain things about people that are not necessarily true. For instance, Josh over here. Josh looks like a really young guy who's just having fun and doesn't, think too hard about anything. But that's not really Josh. Josh is a thoughtful young man. He spent a lot of time making himself better at his craft. He knows a lot about movies and basketball and football, far more than you would expect from a young person his age. So that phrase, don't judge a book by its cover. So if you ever meet Josh and you go, boy, he's sure young, he can't know a lot. That's not true. He does know a lot. And stuff that happened before he started being interested in sports. And that means that he's done work on it. And so you have to, as with Evan Bouchard, and you're like, he's lackadaisical. He looks lazy. He didn't even care that puck went in because the look on his face. That's how he looks. You can't judge that. Take the numbers. Look at what he's done successfully. That's the thing to hold on to. And that's why I think Evan Bouchard deserves the Norris Trophy and why I also think he'll never win one. This is serious stuff. People perceive things that aren't there. Frank Mahovlich had a nervous breakdown. That's what they used to call it. He had to spend time in a hospital. There was so much pressure on him. This is a serious thing, And Frank Mahovlich was a great player. He was fantastic. He won a Stanley Cup in Montreal. It nearly ruined my dad because it was like Frank Mahovlich getting traded to Detroit was tough enough for English Canada. But Frank Mahovlich being traded to Montreal and then being a big piece of a Stanley Cup victory by the Canadians, oh my God. You could write a book about that. Lowetide, don't forget about Triumph and April Wine tonight at Rogers. That's a hell of a card, man. Are you going to lay it on the line tonight, boys? It's going to be, ooh, what a night. Red and yellow, seasons changing gear. Drop your guns and put your hands in the air. Could have been all right. Could have been here tonight. Could have been sweet as wine. Could have been a lady. It seems as though I've lived my life on the bad side of the moon. The whole world's going crazy.
You're just going to keep quoting song lyrics to me until I say something?
I just paid you a compliment.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. So this Rossini Vrabel thing. How much more has to come out before Mike Vrabel steps down as the head coach of the Patriots?
I read yesterday that
the boat
they rented a boat
while she was pregnant,
and
visibly.
I'm now at a point where I've been married twice in my life, and I am so lucky to have been married twice. But I'm not a suspicious person, But I believe in my heart of hearts, I would be able to tell if something like this were happening in my marriage. So what the hell was going on?
I mean, you should hope so. But also, they have very different jobs than any of us in this room have ever had or will ever have.
That's a
right?
good point you make.
She covers the NFL. It's the biggest sport, second biggest sport in the world. Like, takes her out a lot of places. Theoretically, being pregnant does not stop you from doing any of that. Mike Vrabel is a head coach.
Like, they were so brazen. How come this is like Kennedy?
I can't believe it took like 7 years for this to become a thing. They had pictures of him in a bar in January of 2020. Like, that's a long time ago. But it's very interesting now to see that, like, Vrabel is now taking more and more heat every day, which is good because blame is shared.
Well, but of course. Yeah.
But at the beginning, it did not, people were not making it seem like the blame was shared, that it was all Rossini. And I'm like, okay, guys, like, Vrabel did the bad things too.
Well, also, the thing that made me the most angry about this story is the New England Patriots saying, well, look, he's showing up for the first day of the draft, but then his family needs him. Like, go to hell.
He was also there for the second day of the draft.
Okay, well, then
and then
he gave up the last day of the draft.
Constant correspondence with them on the third day. Wild. And he bought his wife a hoodie at an airport. Like, sorry, I've been cheating on you for 7 years.
It's at some level, it's none of our business. They have to work that out.
They have to work it out.
But it looks so bad.
It's so public now. Like, you literally cannot scroll sports Twitter without like 9 of these things showing up. And I'm sorry, Mike Vrabel is probably gonna, when this is a perfect example. So Ime Udoka was coaching the Celtics. He was the head coach when they won the championship. And everyone's like, oh man, that the Celtics have got a guy here. He's going to be around for a long time. That offseason, he was a good coach. Yeah. Comes out that he was having relations with one of the trainers, and the Celtics are like, woo, got to cut ties. Fired him. Makes sense. Cheated on his wife. I don't know what happened to the trainer. I don't think that was reported on. This is more high profile than that.
No. Oh, but the NFL, if they said today, we're gonna create a group of ads that say the NFL respects women, they don't have any examples.
Yeah. And like some of the stuff that's there's things that have, the Titans, when he was the head coach of the Titans, greatly benefited from this relationship, it seems, because she would go and like lower a guy like Julio Jones' stock, and then guess what? Titans traded for him. So that's like tampering. Should go out and be like, hey, start some narratives about Julio Jones, and everyone believes it, and then all of a sudden Julio Jones' stock just plummets. And then the Titans get a guy like Julio Jones. Evidently, she was right. Julio Jones was not good. Yeah. But this is what's going on here. This is bad. This is bad for sport.
It is bad. Now I have to take a break.
Yes.
But that is good information you gave us. This whole story is just awful. And you know what? New England Patriots, they cheated on the Eagles too. I want everybody to remember that. All right. Okay. Well, they did in the Super Bowl. Not that that's more important, but Lowdown with Lowetide on the way. Declinations were brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Jason Krueger isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder with over $3 million raised for local charities. And his Krueger Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Krueger weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
McValue breakfast meals are $5 plus tax every day. Get a sausage McMuffin, bagel with cream cheese product, or breakfast burrito with hash brown and small coffee, all for just $5. Plus taxes. Available until 11 a.m. at Canadian restaurants. Product availability varies. Prices exclude delivery.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Contractors, spring cleanup is coming. It's time to get your lawnmowers, aerators, power rakes, lawn vacs, and more serviced at the Lawnmower Hospital. Hey, the longer you wait, the longer you'll have to wait in line later. Their service department gets crazy busy as the season rolls on, so get in now while it's calm. For quick service on top brands like Bluebird, Ryan Turf, Husqvarna, and more, check out lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Family-owned, community-driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. Was that song about Josie getting high?
Listen, that song's up to interpretation. Josie is the main character. It's by the Glorious Sons. I really like the song.
I do too. I quite like it, but I was concerned as time went on for Josie.
No, I think Josie... Well, she breaks the hearts of boys for the fun of it all. So maybe she's the villain.
Okay, but is she like...
Josie, also, I'm going to just throw this out there, a little sprinkle, little extra declinations for you. Any girl named Josie is like insanely pretty, I think.
Maybe.
Probably.
When I was a kid, Josie and the Pussycats was a TV show and a comic.
Yeah.
And Josie was quite pretty.
Of Archie fame.
Yes. Yeah. All right. It is time. The stuff people can find out just by listening to this show. It's time for Declinations, brought to you by Fairway Divorce Solutions. Divorce can be difficult. We can help make the road to a new life easier. Fairwaydivorce.com. And with that, it's time for Declinations. What do we call it? Mama CFL?
No, Declan CFL.
Okay.
Because this is one that kind of rotates, and it's an extension of Declan CAA, which obviously takes precedence.
Oh, I
during the
see.
college
Okay. So
football
we're keeping
season.
it phonetically correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
We like the namesake of it all.
All right.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do for this one, rookie camp getting going right now, by the way, for the Edmonton Elks. Some roster cuts by 11:59 on May 9th. You're going to have to get it down to 85 people. The 10th is when actual camp is going to start. That obviously will lead in the preseason and final roster cuts and stuff like that. So something to keep an eye out for just in the CFL and in the Edmonton Elks world, that these rosters are going to get dwindling down. Like, you'll be able to go watch the training camps at Clark. Fan Day will be at the Grand Fear Sports Park in Spruce Grove. Me and Eddie actually planning to do a live Elks Nation podcast.
Me and
from there.
Eddie.
So
right
yeah,
on.
come and say hi.
I love it.
So that's something to keep an eye out for sure. But what I wanted to do for this segment was a bit of a tease of an article I want to write. So CFL.ca, their Monday morning quarterback articles, they released the top three position. So they released the top three players per position. So far, they've done quarterback, linebacker, and running back. So I wanted to take if you took all the players in the league, where I think the Elks' highest player would rank. Obviously, for quarterback, running back, there's really only one. But, take their best linebacker, where would he rank? Take the best offensive lineman, where would he rank? Take the best wide receiver, where would he rank? So I've done it so far just for the three that CFL.ca have released as well.
Okay.
So, and obviously I want to hear your guys' feedback, and did I do well? Did I nail the list? I'm talking about you and Josh. But so for quarterbacks, the CFL had Nathan Rourke, Bo Levi Mitchell, Trevor Harris, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
My top three, I have Nathan Rourke and Bo Levi Mitchell as 1 and 2 as well. I don't think we're breaking any news there. I had Davis Alexander as my third. And then when I broke it down, I had Cody Fajardo as number 6.
Okay.
And people might not love the idea of their team's quarterback being 6th in a 9-team league, but I do think he is. There's a pretty significant gap between him from 7, 8, and 9. And I think with Trevor Harris's age, who I had at 4, and Vernon Adams' inconsistency, who I had at 5, I actually think Cody could be a little higher. But I had Cody coming in at 6.
I like the Davis Alexander shout at 3.
He's such a good dual threat.
Mhm.
I'm glad you said that. Like Trevor Harris obviously came in number 3 on CFL.ca. I love Trevor Harris, Saskatchewan quarterback, Grey Cup MOP. He's also like 40 years old. You
That's
know what
the
I mean?
problem,
like, it's just,
right?
Yeah.
He's going to be great until he's not great, and that could be tomorrow.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Yes, Tide. And then to your point, Josh, but Bo Levi's just so good.
He is
Like, he's
literally.
just
It's one of those things that he's.
He could have won league MOP last year. Obviously, my fake vote went to Nathan Rourke as well. But if Bo Levi won it, I don't think anyone would have been too mad because all he does is put up stats and contribute.
Just puts up numbies.
All right. What's running back? This should be a good number.
I can do. I was going to do linebacker, but I can do running back.
Okay.
So for running back, the CFL had Brady Oliveira number 1, Dedrick Mills from Calgary number 2, and James Butler number 3.
Oh
boy.
I also had Brady Oliveira number 1. A little bit of a you've kind of earned this because you've done it so long, and you didn't have the best running back season last year, but you've been so consistent, so top of the heap for so long,
And so unique, right?
Yeah, and I'm not going to knock you down just if you didn't have one season where you weren't the clear best running back in the league. I still think you've earned that title, so I had him number 1. Number 2 and 3, I debated between these two. So James Butler out in BC, who was 3rd on their list, and I had Justin Rankin from the Elks.
Rank the tank.
That's what I would say certainly top 3.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like Dedrick Mills, credit to him. He had 1,400 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns last year. He doesn't really factor in the passing game. Like Justin Rankin had he had a little over 1,000 rushing yards. He had 1,700 all-purpose yards. Now James Butler, he can play out of the backfield as well, catching the ball, a bit of an east-west zippy kind of guy. But my thing with Justin Rankin is he really does it all. Like he is the Elks offense to a large degree. And I don't say that to be harsh to what the Elks offense was last season, but he was just so versatile and meant so much to them. Now he does have some negatives to him as well. He only ran for over 100 yards 3 times last season. He had some absolute no-show performances. He had one game where he had 9 carries for -1 yard.
I remember that.
Was 3. Yeah. Last game of the season.
I could do that.
After his 204-yard rushing game, I think next week it was 27. The week after that was 31. So he does kind of have a tendency to be boom or bust. I also think a large part of that was his offensive line, just being there and watching every single game and kind of knowing some of the intricacies of how the offensive line works. But I think he is so dynamic. I think when he's at his best, he's as good as any running back in the league. Obviously, if you have James Butler instead of him, I'll hear the argument because I think James Butler is a very, very good running back as well. But those two are my 2 and 3.
Yeah, I think that's very fair.
And apologies for the inhale there. Linebacker. CFL.ca had Tyrese Beverett, Montreal number 1, Jameer Thurman from Saskatchewan number 2, and Winston McManus from Hamilton number 3. I had Jameer Thurman number 1, maybe a bit of a Saskatchewan bias. I did have Tyrese Beverett number 2, and then I had Darnell Sankey, who's now out in BC number 3. This is tough, right? Because obviously every team has 3 linebackers, and then the Sam also is different positionally than the Will and the Mac. So it can be a little bit tough to kind of compare the two. And I wasn't going to sit down and watch tape of all 3 starting linebackers or all the rotational linebackers of every team in the league this year. So I was
just like Evan Bouchard. That's what you are.
I guess I was I was going off memory, but I sat down when I finished up so I had those as my 3. I had Winston number 4. I had Micah Awe, who's out in Montreal now at number 5. I had a Darius Pickett who plays the Sam and is really probably the best Sam in the league. I had him at number 6, but then I thought, you know what? There's no reason Nick Anderson, when healthy, can't be number 7. Absolute tackle monster. He can get into the backfield. He can plug holes. He flies around the field, and he does it he's jacked. Obviously, he's a CFL linebacker, but he's probably 5'8". He's noticeably shorter than me than when you get a chance to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to call him undersized because he is so big and so strong, but he's not 6'5", 280.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's kind of the
yeah.
point I'm making, and he's still a tackle monster the way he is. So I thought, you know what? Why not show a tackle monster like that some love? I had Nick Anderson coming in at number 7.
Excellent.
Yeah. And that, of course, will be a tease for an article I'm going to write.
Okay, look forward to it.
Thank you.
I just tweeted out something that you had tweeted out, retweeted it.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that. An article breaking down the Elks CFL and global draft.
Oh, okay. The global's interesting. I'm it's kind of hit and miss, but it's cool.
It's all Aussie rules punters.
Yeah.
Like
but
someone
yeah,
actually texted into the show and was like, why are there so many punters and not QBs in the global draft?
well,
It's all Aussie rules punters.
Yeah, it's true. Patty and Spruce. So Vrabel slept with a reporter. Maybe that's their business. It happens. Yeah, that's true. But they are public individuals, and this is it's news. And as Josh had said earlier, there are some interesting points, like the reporter possibly influencing. It's a sticky wicket at the very least, and certainly it is newsworthy, and that's why we talked about it. Deck, if the running back only has 9 carries, it isn't on the running back, in my opinion. Well, they might have had more than one running back in that game. We don't know, and they might have just been really bad.
The total yards is the problem.
Yeah, like I think Riggs, the Rig, he was the texter who sent that in. I think to his point, he's talking about like the play calling, and the offensive line, which sure, credit to him. But like, man, if you have 9 carries for -1 yard, guess we're not giving you a 10th.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They're moving on.
Yeah,
that's fair. All right. So what didn't we cover really well? I have to say that I'm fascinated by the Anaheim Ducks now. I'm very disappointed in the Minnesota Wild. And I know they've got a tough nut. I knew that the second round in that division was going to, be difficult for the winner of the Dallas Minnesota series. But I'd like to see a little more from that. Philadelphia, I can't get mad at them. They're they are who they are, and they've made it to, I think, as high as they're going to make it this year. But they've still got a story to tell. They're not going to get past Carolina. I'll wait to see if Montreal has an answer to Buffalo. And, Vegas Anaheim is going to be really interesting. I'd like more than one interesting series, though.
I'd be very surprised if Montreal did not come out with an answer for Buffalo. I forget who we had on. Maybe it was Schlemmer yesterday, talking about the X factor in the Habs Sabres series, and he said that genuinely it might be Marty St. Louis. He is so good. Like, he is such a good coach.
He's more motivational than X and O's, right?
I don't know. I thought he did pretty good in X's and O's against John Cooper.
No.
I thought that the coaching battle that went on between the two of them, not just game to game, but line to line, shift to shift, was very interesting and fun to watch. So I'd be quite surprised if they were like, oh, we'll just run it back and hopefully things happen. But also the top line needs to produce more. You need to do your jobs.
We agree McKenna's going to be the first overall pick and that he will go to Toronto.
Yeah.
Well, if you're Frank Saravalli, maybe not.
What's Frank saying?
Who did he have as his first overall? He had McKenna going 3rd to Vancouver.
He might have had Stenberg. We just had him on today, but I think it might have been defense.
No, I think it was Stenberg.
Because and let's be clear here, if that, I don't really have.
You're talking about Reed, the defenseman?
No, Chase Reed. He might be going second on that. Do you have his article up in front of you?
I'm about to pull it. It's also Frank's birthday today. So
Hey, happy birthday, Frank. By the way, he wrote the foreword for my book, which is available at all good bookstores.
But if Stenberg went first, I don't think anyone would be surprised, because the conversation between the two is that McKenna probably has a higher ceiling, but he's a little more raw currently. And Stenberg is more NHL ready right now, but might not reach the heights of what they think Gavin McKenna will be.
Does McKenna's interesting off ice events, does that impact his draft number?
I would still say yes. At least, I would think it would affect the conversation about who should go first. I would think that, because you got to keep your head on.
I think it might affect the conversation, but I don't think it'll affect the fact.
I don't
think they'll ask him about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to have
I don't know how you couldn't. I mean, it's definitely coming up in pre-draft interviews and stuff.
If you're ever gonna punch a guy in the bar, he kind of did it under the best circumstances.
You know what?
Good circumstances or not, you still broke a guy's jaw.
Yeah, listen.
Which means he's got a hell of a punch.
Yeah, first of all, get that kid in some boxing
5'10"
gloves.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get that kid in some boxing gloves. Whoopsies, not a big deal. Like if you keep calling my mom a horse 6 times while I'm out for dinner with my family, like I'm probably clocking you as well, man. Like you're gonna find out real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like right or wrong.
There is a certain amount of feeling that I think most people have about that. You know, that's sort of a. But having said that, your point, Josh, is well taken. You know, best to avoid that.
You're a member of the. You are a famous member in the public. Unfortunately, I'm not saying it's fair, but rules are different for you versus everyone else, which is also the same reason that his charges got dropped.
I have Frank's top 5 if you wanted to hear it.
Let's hear it.
Then I'll smash the outro after So he did have Stenberg first, obviously to Toronto. He had Keaton Verhoff, the defenseman, second to San Jose.
Okay.
He had McKenna third to the Canucks. He had Chase Reed, the defenseman, to the Blackhawks, and he had Carson Carcells. Thank you. Carson Carroll's to the Rangers at 5.
I hope he doesn't go to the Rangers. I hope he falls.
Let me ask you, if you're the parents of any of these young men, would you rather your child went to the Toronto Maple Leafs or Vancouver Canucks?
Maple Leafs.
Oh God.
But I don't love either.
I'd rather they went to the Canucks, and because Toronto's
because Vancouver,
if he doesn't show,
city.
Vancouver's a beautiful city, but also it's well known that they are rebuilding. So I think there's a little more patience with fans, whereas there's a lot more expectation when you play in a market like Toronto.
I would ask my child to ask for a trade to Columbus. All right, on the way, Jason Krueger. Please enjoy your day. Lansky on the way tomorrow. Stay tuned.
Brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. If you're looking for the home team advantage in the Edmonton or area, and you're thinking about buying or selling a home, you can call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Rasmus Dahlin, Zach Werenski, and Cale Makar have been named the finalists for the Norris Trophy. Evan Bouchard, the notable exception, despite leading the league in points for defensemen with 95, and the Calgary Stampeders have extended quarterback Vernon Adams through 2028. In the NHL tonight, Carolina and Philly at 6. Carolina leading that series 2-0. The NBA will see 2 game 2s, Cleveland and Detroit at 5, and LA and Oklahoma City at 7:30. Both home teams looking to take a 2-0 series lead. In the MLB right now, the Nats lead the Twins 7-5, Guardians up on the Royals 5-1, Cubs blanking the Rays 8-0, and the Mets 2-0 on the Rockies. In the bottom of the first, the Pirates and the Diamondbacks currently tied 1-1, and a little bit later on, we'll see the A's and the Phillies. The only final from today saw the Yankees over the Rangers 9-2. Up next is the Jason Krueger Show with Connor Halley. I'm Declan Krueger, and this has been a Sports 1440 Up.